Well, hello, hello. So, it's 10 o'clock at night, imagine. But I'm going to tell you about today. So, we have a prayer. We can have a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this nice day we've had. Thank you for the weather, and thank you for the warmth. And thank you that it was Sunday and that um, we could worship thee and go to church. And we're grateful for all our blessings, and we're grateful for the wildlife that's around. I'm grateful for this beautiful earth that Thou hast given us. We like to ask that Thou will help us to take good care of it, and that Thou will help us to be kind to one another, and that we will not have any contention, but that we will try to live as the example of our Savior. And we're grateful for His sacrifice in our behalf. And we're so grateful for YouTube and that we have this opportunity to visit with one another. And these things we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. There. Hello. Oh, look at that. 3 people already. Hello, hello, hello. And 1 thumbs up even. So, that, you're seeing the edge of that. I gotta fix that curtain, I guess. Yes, amen. So I was going to tell you about this morning. So this morning I woke up, had to walk. We're at the camp. This is the RV. Would you like to see the RV? Would you like to see Willem? Say hello, Willem.
Hello.
You're supposed to say hello, Willem. Hello, Willem. He usually says hello, Willem, when I say hello, Willem. Anyway, he was just doing the normal thing of saying hello. Anyway, so this morning we're at the camp in the RV, and we use the outhouse. Susan says hi, Willem.
Hi, Susan.
There, he said hi, Susan. Um, so we have to use this outhouse, and it means you have to walk all the way over there. And I woke up, my back was really bad. It was hard to walk across there because I don't have a walker that I can use on the gravel, so I can't push my stuff up vertically. If I can push myself up straight, then my back doesn't hurt. But if I'm kind of curved over, then it's really bad on your low back to walk like that. Anyway, but once I was out there and I realized that I was going to have to go for a walk. So afterwards I went for a walk. And at first it was really hard to walk because I was so bent over, and I had to keep trying. If you pretend there's a hook on the top of your head and it's your hook to the sky, and it helps you to stand up straight. Anyway, so I walked over to the beaver pond. I love that little beaver pond. And what did I see? Lo and behold, there were 2 adult. Yeah, if your back is bad in the morning, I find the best thing to do is to walk. It may hurt to walk at the beginning, but after a few minutes, you limber up. And then you're good to go. Then you can walk. You can be vertical all day, or, more than if you don't do anything. Anyway, so they were this whole family of, I think it was 9 ducks. And I found out what they are. They're not lesser grebe or grebes at all. They're wood ducks. But they're so far away I can't really see the markings. I have to take my binoculars when I do that again tomorrow. But and the otters are active early in the morning and later in the evening. And I thought it was a beaver I was seeing. So last time I was at the beaver pond and had a lovely visit with you for several hours. So you see this triangle, and then you see like a wake. It's sort of a V-shaped wake. So there'll be the triangle in the very front. But look what I have. I have my plugger up thing right here. I just have to get it out from under there. So just plug this in there. You hold still. Okay, it didn't hurt, did it? I have to push the button on this thing. There we go. Okay. I didn't feel it vibrate. Usually I feel it vibrate when it's plugged in. Anyway, so um, so there was this triangle at the head of the V, and then there was another triangle. It was smaller and it was further back. And I have always figured that this was a beaver here, because obviously it's a beaver pond. There's beaver lodges. There's a big beaver dam, and now they've worked on filling up the overflow beaver pond area. There's a lower pond just down below by the water, which is where the frogs are. That's where I listen to the frogs and watch the lightning bugs, right? Anyway, they get first I'll tell you about those wood ducks. So the wood ducks, there were 9 of them. 2 of them were adults, and they went across. They made this long line, and then they went into the cattails. And it seems like wood ducks like to hide in the foliage. They really are a very they like to be secluded and in those places. So then after that, they had just gone by, and then I see these 2, what I thought were beavers. But then they got to a certain spot, and I saw the body come out of the water, and it was almost like when a whale. Have you ever seen a whale as it comes out and dives over? Well, it was like I did my fingernails. It was I didn't see the tail. And so I thought, is that really a beaver? And I wasn't sure. And so later I asked Mary Jane, and she has otters in her ponds over there. And she said that yes, they do come out of the water. And so I was watching them. They were coming out and going back and forth, and both of them, they were sort of doing this thing that they were pretty far away, so I could only see, a body coming out of the water, and sometimes it would go partly back, and it was just doing a few things. So that was kind of neat that I sat there watching that. And then after a while, one of these wood ducks, there must be female because they don't have much markings at all. And they're just little gray blobs, right? Not blobs, but so this one, it came nearby me, just a few feet on the other side of the cattails, which are right on the edge of, but you've seen it, where I was sitting, and he went into she went into the cattails, and then a little while later, I saw 2 more wood ducks, the adults, and they were out in the middle, and they were just floating along, and then they would stop and dive and disappear, and then they would come back. I thought that was so cool. So that was my morning experience there. It was nice. And I found, those 3 swings that I set up. Well, those, they keep blowing over. So I walked up along the beaver pond, and this other one had blown over. So I uprighted it, and then there's lots of rocks here, rocks everywhere. And so I took some rocks, not heavy, not big heavy ones, and the legs are on an angle like that, so I laid the rocks against them and put them on all sides. And I did it on all 4 legs so that they were all in a little heap of, rocks. So when we came back this evening, and it hadn't blown over. Isn't that cool? Yay! Success! Of course, we both sat on one of the swings yesterday down at the lake, and that was a bad idea because we bent it. So I took all the screws apart, and I took the bent part out and took it to a vise and bent it back to shape. And so but I didn't do that on the leg, and I think the leg is kind of bent. So when it says that it holds 225 kilograms, you can't believe it, because it didn't. Because together we are less than 400 pounds, I guess. He's 230 and I'm 170. So that's 400 pounds. Yeah. Hi, Nancy, Nanby. Excellent morning, full of excitement. Yes, it was very exciting. I was so thrilled to see all these animals. I like to tell you guys about it. if you could find a wilderness spot and sit on the pond, by the pond and watch, you'd just be amazed. You know, the other folks that have been here last year, he said that he's never seen a single duck on that lake, but he didn't have a swing to sit on beside it, you know, or a chair. He'd be going up and down in the little vehicle. So how's everything out there, all you folks? Look, 5 people are here. My goodness, who's here? So there's me, but that makes 6. And Susan and Nan B. And who else could be there? Oh, one person left. There's 4 or 5 if you include me. If you include Willem, there's... Anyway. Anyway. So we went to church today, and it was really nice. It was really nice to go, and it was Fast and Testimony meeting. The first Sunday of the month is Fast and Testimony. So you love to hear about my exciting days. Oh, so exciting. And I bore my testimony. I talked about how I ended up joining the church, how I came to join it, and it was awesome to be able to bear my testimony, but I think I spoke too long because I went over. Anyway, meeting was longer because of me. But they didn't shut me down. They didn't say, okay, Nancy, you know. There was this guy that used to be one of the apostles, and LeGrand Richards. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but and on the podium at General Conference, there's a red light, and he would talk and talk, and he would say stuff like, "What's this red light for? Why does it keep coming on?" Anyway, they don't have that on most podiums. That was just in the tabernacle, I guess. Anyway, so that was nice, and then afterwards we went to visit Mary Jane. You just gave Bear a Benadryl. He's so upset about fireworks. So what is today? Is today the 4th? Willem, is this the 4th? Third. It's the 3rd, but I guess it's Sunday, so people are doing their fireworks. Yeah, I heard fireworks on the lake tonight, and I wondered what they were doing tonight. They're kind of late. Canada Day is the 1st, and so when we were here, we arrived here on the 1st again, and we've had all these childcare things, so we thought we were going to have to not come to the camp anymore, but then it appeared that we didn't have to babysit for 4 days in a row or 5 days. I thought, let's go. So we came back here, and we heard the fireworks, and we went rushing down to the... I see, they start early here on the 3rd. Yeah. So we went rushing down, and there's 57 cottages that line the lake. The name of the lake is Little Bald Lake, and it's got 2 islands, and that we can see from the dock, and it's got all these coves, so you can't see all of the cottages, but many of them were putting off fireworks as soon as it gets dark, right? And here, do you realize that the sun sets 6 minutes later here than it does at home? Hi, Bear. Hi, Bear. How are you? Saying low battery. It's supposed to be charging. It's turned off. Ha. Why is it still just 100%? It should be getting less. Sorry. I have to plug you up. Anyway, don't know if you're plugged up or not. If it dies, it's 10:15, so I'll just let it go, so you don't have to wait around for me to come back. Anyway, so we went to visit Mary Jane, and that was really nice. So her husband has Parkinson's, and so he's in a home or whatever it's called. So he likes watching me, does he? Hi, Bear. Hello, Bear. How are you? Yes. Are you a good doggy? Yes, you are a good doggy, aren't you? And all you other doggies, are you good doggies too? Don't want to leave anybody out. Sometimes the cats watch what I'm showing the birds. Anyway, so we went for a walk, and he's on his scooter, and we walked around and had a very nice time, and it was hot in the sun, but we sat on benches, and it was really nice to go and visit. You know, they've been close friends of of us from, well, since 1976. I think that's when we met. And we've been close friends since then. That's how many years? 76, 86, 96, 106, 116, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 46 years. Is that right? Is that right, Willem?
Well, I pay attention, sorry.
I'm no good with math. That's not my strong point. Wisdom is the consolation prize for messing up. And the wisdom that I've gotten from messing up on math is not to bother trying to do it. Just let everybody know I'm math and me. I used to be able to do it, but it doesn't seem to be as fast anymore. And afterwards we went and hung out with Mary Jane, and we sat on her deck as we have many times in the past, and looked at her garden. She has these beautiful blueberry plants. They've got hundreds of blueberries on them. And her apple trees are like twice as big. They're humongous. They look like maple trees almost. They're humongous. And she's got a pear tree. She's got so much food growing in her backyard. It's not a very big backyard. Anyway, that was nice. Excuse me. What was I going to tell you about that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're sitting there and I'm looking at the two of them, Willem and Mary Jane, and I'm thinking, gee, they're aging. And Mary Jane says, yes, and I'm sitting here looking at you two thinking, they're aging. Like, to me, I don't think I look old. Of course, my eyes don't work so good anymore either. Oh yeah, to go visit Michael. He lives in a nursing home, and you have to get a COVID test. So that's to say that we were there. Oh, now I know what day it is. You see, it says July 3rd. Now is that backwards or is it forward? When I look at it in here, it looks backwards. Yeah. Willem says, oh, you just take it and you just hook it and you pull it. Do you know that there are 2 springs nearby? Did I tell you that already? Like if you go up toward Bob Cajun, there's a ditch and there's this tube coming out of the ditch and you can fill up all your bottles. So we were driving by. I didn't really know which way we were going to drive by. Well, he said you can rip them off. He said you could pull them, but it just hurts my arm.
Pull hard.
Yeah, you have to pull hard, but that's enough to hurt me, so I'll just wait and use the scissors when I feel like it. They're over there in the drawer. See, this is our house. It's kind of nice. You should turn on the light above your head, Willem, if it matters to you. If it doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter to me either. What?
It's okay for now.
Okay. Anyway, that was really a nice day. Yeah, it is clean. I tidied it right up. There's not room for anything to be out of place. Well, this is the couch. I get to use the couch. I can't really sit on it. I don't sit well, so I have to lie down. So here I am lying down on the couch. Ta-dum, ta-dum. It is pretty cozy here. Looks like the books are crooked in the bookcase. See, they're all falling down up there. I have all those candles up there and those cupcake things. And I brought, hey, how come I got so big here? And I brought all of the egg cartons. And there's up at the pavilion, there's a one of those ice cream pails, and it's full to the brim with lint. So I'm gonna melt those candles because they're fragrant, and I don't like fragrant candles. I'm gonna melt them down, and I'm gonna put the lint in the egg cartons, and I'm gonna pour it over it, and then I'll have fire starters. Lots of them. I could give them to the campers. So next week there are like about 60 young men coming. And I guess they're going to get put to work clearing trails. And there's this big board, like when you go at a provincial park or something, they have a big board and it'll have like notices of activities or stuff. Well, we've got these laminated maps of the camp, and there's all these trails. So I think that we should put that on there, and so they can see the trail map when they're wandering around looking and think, "Oh, look, we could go on a trail." And and there's also all these. Yeah, it is plugged in, and it's supposed to be charging, but I don't know. See, the cord is plugged in. Yeah, I hope it's working. Is it? Let's see what this is doing. Oh yes, it must be charging. We're down to 97. I could plug it into the wall, but that would mean I'd have to go and lie in the bed. But, I don't feel like lying in the bed. I'm lying on the couch with my peas. This is the peas I have. Frozen peas. I put them in the microwave for a minute. I pushed 111. You know what I realized since we've come here is that my microwave at home is not nearly as powerful as these. Either the one here in the RV or the one in the pavilion. Those will just charge in, they'll just cook in a minute. All of a sudden your thing is done, and I hear, whoa. It's going to get cold tonight. It's going to be 50. It's going to be 10 degrees. So I should probably turn off that fan and close that window. You drank a huge glass of orange juice. Now you're feeling like you're floating away. Let's see. So nice to see you guys. You remember at home, I told you about all the deer I saw. Oh, remember Willem saw a bear on our deck, which really puzzled me because we don't eat meat. And, you'll be up all night if you just drank orange juice. Yes, well, I try not to drink late at night, especially here because I don't want to have to go out in the dark and walk all the way across to the outhouse. It's not very close. It's close, but it's like, how far away you think it is, Willem? 100 feet? 200 feet?
No, not 200. No, less than 100, I think.
Anyway, it's far enough that if you gotta go, it's a long way to go. 91 degrees tomorrow. 94 on Tuesday. Oh my gosh. So that's what, 33 or so? Oh yes, the bear. Keep me on track here. Okay, so the bear was not you, bear. A different bear. So the bear was about 3 feet tall. No, 2.5 feet tall. Like standing on his 4 feet. His back was about 2.5 feet tall, and his length was about 3 feet long, not including his head. And of course, they are black bears, so they have a brown snout, a black nose, black eyes. I don't know. I have to look it up in the book. Oh, bear, you're watching intently, are you? Is this about you? A bear? Okay, so Willem was in the living room, and he looked out toward the shady deck, which is toward the view down at the stream, or at the pond, where I sit in my swing. Okay, so there on the deck, on the side that's on my, if you look out the window, it would have been on the right side. The stairs right there. So it was right on that corner there, and he was up on the deck. Like, that's like 7 steps coming up. Imagine. Deer don't come up on the deck, but he was up on the deck. And I was thinking, why would he come up? Why would he be attracted to our house? And because we don't really eat meat, very rarely. And if we do, we just have a sausage. And it's only, once every few weeks or something that we have meat. And so he wouldn't have smelled that. And we haven't been there, so there's no compost. And we didn't cook, so nothing was smelling. I couldn't figure out why we would have a bear there. And so, we left. We came out here, and then it hit me. This is a saying. You should memorize this. It says, "A pine needle fell in the forest. The eagle saw it. The deer heard it, and the bear smelled it." So then I realized that those metal containers the metal garbage cans. Well, one of them is out there on I call it the breezeway. It goes out the side of the living room by the wood stove. It goes out those sliding glass doors, and there's all my fleeces piled up, and then there's a couch there, and at the end of the fleece is a big metal garbage can, and it's got deer feed in it. It's only maybe a third full now. It's not a lot in there. But that's where he was going. He could smell it through that container. I mean, if he can smell a pine needle that falls in the forest, he could easily smell that in the tin can. And never ever occurred to me. And when he saw Willem, he stood there for 3 seconds or so, which is quite a long time. And then he turned and he went down the stairs and went down in the valley and disappeared. But we're gone now, so I'm sure he's come back. And he's probably tipping over that can, and all that stuff is spilling out, and he's probably having a lovely lunch, and maybe his babies are coming this time too. That's dangerous. One bear outside is alright. A baby outside is not alright. Because if you're anywhere between the baby and the mother, she'll kill you or maul you. So you gotta never ever be between the babies. If you ever see a baby bear, they're cute, but you stay far away. And don't get out of your car, don't do anything, because she'll get you. But they're not like grizzlies. Grizzlies, you are food. Black bears, you're a curiosity. So they might come over if you have food on you, like in your backpack or something. You drop your backpack, or your fish or whatever you got with you. And if you smell like food, you're in trouble. But they don't want to eat you up. They want the food you're carrying. But if you run, that's not good either. The best thing to do if you encounter a bear is to make yourself a black bear, is to make yourself huge. Put your arms out, stomp, make lots of noise, and, like whatever you can do, swell yourself up to be big. And then, that's the best you can do. I haven't really researched it, but I know that they can run faster than you, they can climb faster than you, and if you run, then you become a target. Like I've heard about runners that are in the woods and they're running and they get mauled. So another thing you can do is grab a stick and put the stick on an angle and wedge it into the ground facing, facing toward the bear, so that if he runs at you, he gets pierced by the stick. Anyway, bear spray and whistles. Have a whistle. So I guess I have to wear a whistle now at home all the time. Unless I'm really... That's my friend in Australia phoning. But I'll have to phone him again later. He always seems to call at 10:30 at night. Because it's about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning there. Well, he obviously wants this food. Now there's 2 of these bins. So there's one on the front porch, which is, you've seen me fill it up many times, or get the sunflower seeds. But see, we haven't fed the birds at all. This last time we were there, I don't even think I fed the squirrels or anything. So there was nothing at all that I thought for them to eat, which was curious. So now I'll have to be careful. But at the same time, it's very exciting, don't you think? I think it's very exciting. I immediately went and sat out on the deck to watch in case he was around, but he wasn't. Anyway, I do have to be careful. But it's going to be awesome when he comes and we can film him and you can see him. But I won't have my seed bins outside, but there's not room for them inside. Then the house becomes full of these big metal containers, and I don't have a lot of room for that. Anyway, I do have a whistle. I keep it on my keychain, and I try and keep my keychain on me because my car will lock automatically. So if I leave my keys in the car and it automatically locks, I'm up the creek. So we both have to wear our keys with us all the time. Plus on the camp, it's okay here at the camp because they've got all our master key and all these different keys we need here. Guess you only really need the master key, right? That opens everything except one place. Anyway. So that was my exciting life today and the other day and my figuring outs. So I was looking up otters in the book here because of the otter seeing today. This is an awesome book. Stokes Nature Guide. Animal tracking and behavior. So just because I wanted it, see this, how there's something missing here? Yeah, the entire section from page 342 to 357 is missing. And it's all about the otters. So, but there are other places in the book, like they show you the Otter Tracks. That's on page 96, I think. Let me go to 96 here. So they show you the scat, which is their poop, and they leave it by the water, and they use it the same spot over and over. I don't think you want to see these things though, so I won't show you those pictures. And then they showed pictures of their footprints. I don't know where it is. They got all these different kinds of animals in here. Oh well, I'm not going to show you. It's too much work. Anyway, I was trying to find out about, if it described what you see when you look at them in the water, if they have a triangular head. When I was at the moat the other day, when I was trying to make a video, and there was I think it worked for a few minutes. It turned out to be a 5-minute video or something. But there was a muskrat, and the muskrat, you don't see the triangle, you see his whole back. I didn't see the fisher again, just in the winter time. I haven't been down there again, Except I cut my pathway through there the other day. That was hard work, cutting a pathway from the moat road through the alders and to the back of through the woods to the bridge, and then crossing it to the A-frame. But I told you about that already. That was hard work. It's hard work because I was tired and I didn't sit down anywhere. There were so many mosquitoes. Anyway. And then when I got there, there was a bee's nest in my blanket, so I couldn't sit there again. And anyway, it is what it is. It's really nice to be here at the camp. This camp is it's pretty flat, but it's quite rugged in the woods. You do have a lot of hills in there and a lot of, ups and downs, but we don't have to worry about bears in the city, just raccoons. Oh, hi, NYC Bubbles. Now, are you John? No, what was your name? NYC Bubbles. So you're in New York City. Oh my goodness. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I used to live in New York or New Jersey, right across the bridge, George Washington Bridge. And you know what? I remember, I don't know if I told you this. Oh, hi, Betty. Yes. Yes, I remember you, Betty. The other day, I was with the children and they were swimming. I think I may have told you this. I don't know, maybe I didn't. Oh, hi, Andrew. Nice to see you too. Um, I was with children and they were in the pond, in the lake, and they came out and they were freezing and they wrapped me up. And I was trying to remember, when did I do that? You know, like we all did that when we were little and we got out of the lake or the pond or the something and we ran to our parents and got wrapped up in a towel, right? And I thought, well, when did that happen? What's my memory of that? Now you cast your mind back. Do you have a memory of that? And my memory was in Teaneck, New Jersey. Hi, Andrew Pantoja. Anyway, my memory was in Teaneck, New Jersey. We went across the road to Ammon Park, and there was this round pool. It was very shallow, maybe a foot deep, and anyway, I'm just saying this because in New York City, you know, you probably haven't heard of Ammon Park. And I don't think Fort Lee Road looks like it did before. I think it's now a huge freeway. But right across from that building we lived in, 266 Fort Lee Road. Oh. That was Ammon Park. And I think it's a pretty big park now. Well, it's nice to see everybody. Wow, a lot of you are on here. Yeah, so I don't know if you've been watching these other videos. We're service missionaries at this camp. We're surrounded by lakes in this area. It's lakes everywhere. So if you want to go somewhere, you can't just go somewhere. Like usually in Ontario, lots of roads are just straight, right? But here, you got to go around the lake, and then you got to go between two other lakes and around that lake, and nothing is very simple. But we're getting to know the area. We now know the way to church without having the GPS on, and we also know the way back from Mary Jane's house, from church to her house, and then from her house back to here. It was a pretty straight line, except there's a few curves in there, but it's a few little road changes. Oh, and then there was this spring where the water is coming out in a ditch. And so we stopped and we filled up all our bottles with water. That was nice. That's near Bob Cajun. The other day, a few weeks ago, I guess, we found there's 2 springs. Oh, yes. And when we got home, well, let me tell you about the second spring. The second spring is down near Bridge North. Can you imagine calling a place Bridge North? There's a bridge there that goes north and crosses the end of a lake. And there's, in somebody's front yard, they've got all these rocks in a circle. And then there's this hose. This one is a garden hose, which comes out and you can fill up your bottles. And there's generally lots of people there filling up their bottles. I thought that was pretty cool that we went by that place and that I already had found it and it was marked on my GPS so I could see it. So we went and we stopped by and filled our bottles up on the way home. What did you just say I was supposed to read? Oh yeah, so when we got home tonight, we went down to the lake and it was about 8:45. The sun sets 6 minutes earlier here than it does at home. We only live a couple of hours from here. I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. And yet there's that much of a difference in the sunset. So it sets here at 9, it sets at home at 8:55 and it sets here at 9:02 or something. But that changes every day. It's getting a little earlier, I think. But it's interesting that on the actual solstice, June 21st, the sun was still rising earlier for a few days and setting at the same time. So it's setting at 8:55 like for a whole week. It's interesting. But there's this, if you go on the internet and find sunsets and sunrises, there's a twilight times too. So it starts getting light at like 3:30, but the sun would rise at 5:30. It's fun being north, isn't it? So from 5:30 till 9, you have the actual sun is up, but then from 3:30 till, I don't know what time, 9:30 or something, 9:45. You have twilight. And so here on the camp we've seen wild turkeys, but no baby wild turkeys. And we've seen the Canada geese, and you hear the loons going over in the evening. And you know when the sun is setting, that's when all the geese get up and they fly to another lake or something. And then the loons go and they say, ah, 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 ah. And then they have this real spooky sound. Ooh. Ooh. That was for you, Bear. Are you listening? Ruff, ruff. I've noticed it is very different in San Francisco. The sun sets at 7 to 7:30. Is that right? Wow. So are you in San Francisco? 7 or 7:30. Yes, see, the further south you get, once you're on the equator, it rises at 6 and sets at 6. And so as you move north at any amount, you know, you get it earlier and later. Yeah. Till you get up to the Arctic, and it rises at like 2 a.m. and sets at 11 a.m. And it doesn't come up and go across. It just skims the surface. So you'll see the sun getting low, but if it's like, you know, that far above the horizon, it's not going down. It's going to go way across, and then it might just dip below the horizon for a little while. Or it just doesn't. If you're far enough north, it doesn't. I went really far north once. The farthest I've been it's north of Juneau, up at the Yukon BC border, just down into BC, which is pretty far north. That's in Canada, right? So did you say something? So you live in San Francisco. Andrew, I don't have you written in my book. So I will write you in this book if I have a pen, which I don't appear to have. Did it slide off of me? You know, that's what pens do. Look, that's where it is. So I will write that down. So first, I have to write NYC Bubbles is Betty. Hi, Spencer. Not Betty, better, Betty. And where are you, Spencer? So, wait a minute, Andrew Pantoja. So, are you Latino? Andrew, REWPANTOJA, San Francisco, SF. My sister lives in San Francisco. Actually, she lives up in the mountains. And who else did you say? Was that Spencer McLaren? I will put you guys in my big book. McLaren. It's been a long time since we had a video where people were actually on here for very much. That was, you know, I guess it's because it's 10 o'clock at night, or later at night, to a certain. Oh, you are. Yes, that's a very Spanish name, Pantoja. There was a group here last weekend. Oh, and Michelle. Hello, Michelle. Michele. Where are you from, Michelle? Do I already know that? If I had my book, I would look it up. I have a great book. I made it one night on here. I had to figure out all the states and all the provinces and all the countries and write them all down. Everybody got a page. Every one of them got a page. And then I had alphabetical pages, A, B. And so then I wrote down everybody on the page in their country or state, if it was the U.S. or Canada, and then province, and then so then I could get to know. Oh, Michelle, you're in Missouri. Missouri. That is the same place as Grateful. GJ3 full, I think it was. Sometimes if you push it in and hold it, it works. He's wearing his earphones. He's composing his music, you see. He's a very busy man. Not me. I'm not busy. I have time to do nothing but chit chat. So most of the work is done here. We've been working so hard getting this camp ready. 2 months. And most of the work is done now. So now people are just coming and camping. And we have these big, huge groups. All the young women will come. Was it hot in Canada today? It was about 85 here today. No, it was 26, I think, or 25 here today. So what's that? 70, 20 is about 70. So 25, so 30 is 80 or 90. I don't know. I have to ask. I don't know. So 25 plus 25 is 50 plus 32, 67, 82. So it was 82 today, I guess. That sounds warm. Okay. So you said it was 85 in New York? Yeah. So this one family came, and they were so many. There were like 30 people in this family, all the kids and all their spouses and the grandchildren and the grandparents. And they were all here, and they were Spanish. And they were from Guatemala, I think. Some were from Mexico, and some were from Guatemala. And so we were trying to speak Spanish with them. Willem has been learning Spanish by watching YouTube videos, and he's got his running dictionary he's making. I was always under the impression you were colder than here. Well, it depends. It is. Sorry if it's doing that. Let me just check. Hi, it turned off. Let's turn it on again. It's on 87. Now, will it charge? Maybe it stopped charging. No, it stopped again. So that means that it's not plugged in properly. So let's do that again. So when it dies, it's over. Because I should really be sleeping. I went to bed really early last night. It's supposed to be 100 there on Tuesday and Wednesday with a heat index over 110. Wow. That's the Midwest, isn't it? Is Missouri the Midwest? What is that area called? Like the Black Hills are up in South Dakota, right? And Missouri is, it's got a flat top, right? So what's it under? Well, it is hot. Yeah. You know, we humans, we have this very narrow space where it feels okay. Like for us it's from 20 to 25 Celsius. So from 70 to 80, somewhere in there, but not too close to 80. Iowa. Ah. So Iowa is above Missouri? Is that what you were saying? Because you're in Missouri. I thought Iowa had a triangular bottom. I don't have a map. Oh, it's under Iowa. Okay. Huh. And what's Iowa under? So there's Illinois and Indiana. And then there's Ohio. No, Ohio. There's Pennsylvania, then Ohio, then Iowa. And then Illinois with Indiana under it. Is that right? And Missouri is under Iowa. So you must be to the east of Indiana? I'm not very good on that. I've got the West. I know all the western states because they're so big and easy. And I know all of New England because we came from there. All my relatives are up there. And all the way down to the south. And then I know, across the bottom. And then Tennessee and Kentucky. But once you get up above that area in there, south of the Great Lakes, a little confusing. Illinois is to the east. Okay, so you're to the, so Illinois is to the east. I'm gonna have to find a map. That's all there is to it. You know, once I quickly drew a map of the U.S., all the states, and what kind of bug was that? Yuck. Anyway, it looked like a firefly, but it also looked like a moth. Anyway, and so I drew the whole map, and I had all the states in it. And I get a little confused in that area. I say, okay, so hold on now. Kansas is to the west. Really? So Iowa is down, Kansas is in the middle. And then there's Missouri is beside Kansas. And then Illinois on the other side. And Iowa above it. Interesting. Arkansas to the south. Okay, yeah, I don't know that little area. That's the area I'm confused about. Okay. Well, I would draw a map of it right now, but I have to look at that and do it. But anyway, so I was drawing this map of the U.S. with all the things I knew it, and I said to Willem, you could draw a map of Europe, and he did it. He just did it. He just knew the whole shape of Europe and all the countries, and he just did that. I thought that was so cool. You know, we're very whatever it is. Our knowledge usually centers around where we are. Like if you tried to draw all the, yes, he's very intelligent, very intelligent. Whew, gotta have high heels on. Because it's over my head, whatever he says. You know, like if you tried to draw Africa, have you ever tried to draw Africa and all the countries in Africa? Do you even know the countries in Africa? I tried to memorize them once. I think there's 3 that start with A and maybe 2 or 3 with B and a couple with C. You pray for a miracle of snow so that you can get warmed off when it's 100 degrees. So you must have air conditioning, I hope, right? How do people cope without air conditioning? You know, we came back to the camper or to this RV and it was so hot. And we turned on the air conditioner the other day, and I'm just amazed at what a small window. I mean, considering that how much colder it is than 70 degrees Fahrenheit and how much hotter it is than, say, 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's what we like. And so if it's too hot, we put on the AC, and if it's too cold, we put on the heat. Or we, create it, or we make air blow or something. We heat our wood stove up. 7 states touch Missouri. All right, I'm gonna have to draw this. So let's see if I can do this. I'll turn you around so you can go right there with me. So, okay, so we've got here Kansas. That's easy. Kansas, that's where. Okay. And my see Bubbles Betty says snow. Yuck, snow. Okay, so there's Kansas, and then right beside Kansas is Missouri. Is that right? But Missouri has a strange shape, right? And Illinois is above it, ILL. I was born in Chicago. Illinois is got a funny shape, but I can't remember which shape it is. And then, so Missouri, but now one of them is shaped like this, isn't it? Something like that. Okay, so Missouri, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and then you said, wait a minute, I have to go. Illinois is to the east. Oh, Illinois is to the east. So what's to the north? Arkansas is to the south. Is that what you said? I could go back and see what you said. Here, I'll just go. 7 states touch Missouri. Okay, let's go back. Arkansas is to the south. Arkansas. Is that one this one? Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois. Kansas, Illinois is to the east. ILL. And Iowa, IOWA. Iowa. Okay, so the Great Lakes are here. Right? So, no. Illinois comes up all that way, right? It comes up beside Iowa. And the Great Lakes are here. And then you've got Michigan here and somewhere else. I don't know where. There's two places of Michigan. I don't know. So Illinois. Now Indiana is over here, isn't it? Indiana. And then Illinois goes around the lake, and so there's Ohio is here, right? Illinois, thank you. Iowa's on top. Okay, Iowa's on top. Illinois is beside Iowa and Missouri. Okay, that's it. Illinois. Beside Iowa and Missouri. Illinois is east of the other two. Those two, right? Nebraska is northeast corner. Indiana is east of Illinois. Oh, Indiana is not down there. So Illinois, and then, okay, so this is Indiana, and then Ohio is here. I'm making a mess. And Nebraska is above here. Now, Nebraska has a curve like that, right? When I was in some grade, I did a project on Lincoln, Nebraska. Yes, Nebraska and Kansas. And then below Kansas, is that Oklahoma? And that's got the panhandle shape. Is it like that, or is it the other way? Kentucky is under Ohio and Indiana. Kentucky, that's right. Kentucky is shaped like that. And then Tennessee. And then I know the other ones. Then there's Georgia. Let's see, Georgia's got that funny thing. I grew up in Athens. And then beside Georgia is Alabama, which has a thing like that too. And then there's Mississippi. And then there's Louisiana with the boot. And then there's Texas, which is everywhere. But I don't know if I'm under the right things there then. So have I got that right? Let's see. Alabama is under Tennessee. Nancy, you are confusing me. I'm confusing myself. I think it's just time to get a map. We'll stop doing this now. Everything is a mess there. But, you know, once you put Florida in there, then it all starts to look right. You know, there it is, Florida. Oh, wait, Georgia, and then there's North Carolina and South Carolina and all those things. Oh, yeah, it's on an angle. So you can have South Carolina there and North Carolina there. But North Carolina is next to Tennessee. And then there's Virginia and West Virginia. Something like that. And then there's Pennsylvania and New York. I don't think that's shaped right. And then there's New Jersey. And then there's, what's after New York? Up above New York is Canada. Oh, Canada. And then, or this is the lake, I guess. And then, oh yeah, we're up here. That's Lake Ontario. And then Lake Erie is on over here. No, what's the one over on by Ohio? It's not Lake Erie, is it? Anyway, and then above New York, then you have Connecticut, CT, and then you have, oh wait, Connecticut goes across to the ocean, doesn't it? And then you've got Massachusetts, and then you've got, oh, somewhere out here is Rhode Island, and then you've got Vermont is up here, and New Hampshire. I think New Hampshire's here. No, Vermont is here, and then Montreal is above that. Vermont and New Hampshire, and then you've got Maine, and they think they're so far north. But really, they're not that far north at all, because there's Montreal, and then there's Ottawa, and us somewhere. Maine's on top, M-E. There we go, that was it. And then above Nebraska, is that South Dakota? And then above that is North Dakota? Hi, Bear. How are you? Are you having fun? Lake Erie. Ah, yes, Erie. Okay, and then, so there's Lake Ontario. This is all out of whack. So Lake Ontario is north of New York, and then you've got, yeah, this is Toronto is here. And then here is Niagara. And then there's, so Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, and then you've got Lake Huron, and then Lake Superior. And is Huron dividing Michigan? It's just too confusing, and I don't have any geography books here at all. But I do have my laptop. We won't get into it, eh? Okay, 11 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Never he has rode of Lake Huron. Oh, never heard of Lake Huron. Oh yeah? Well, that's probably because it's not, it's Lake Huron. Lake Huron. There's Michigan. Lake Michigan. And Lake Huron is, maybe Lake Huron is in Canada. I thought that all 5 lakes were dividing the U.S. and Canada. I know Lake Ontario. That's New York and Ontario. And then it's it's over to the east. And then down south of that, like there's this Canada, Ontario has this big thing that points down. You know, Ontario's huge, just as big as Texas. But most of it's uninhabited. But that's all going to change, you know, because all those folks down there that don't like it when it's 108. I saw this thing on Lake Mead the other day, and it's dropping. The lake is like dropping every day. It's lower and lower. In a week, it's lower and lower. And they're finding, there were 2 barrels. This is like outside of Las Vegas, and there were barrels with bodies in them. You know, like, you got all these casinos and all the crime and all this stuff, and just off them in the lake. You know, jeez. Lake Michigan sits on the left of Michigan, and Lake Huron to the right of Michigan. So Lake Michigan then is totally in the U.S. Or it's, right? And Huron is in, when I used to live in southern Ontario, down there in the little triangle point. Ontario's an interesting place. There's northern Ontario, which is like 3/4 of it. And then there's southern Ontario, which is just this little tiny point that goes down in there. And it's all farmland down there. That's the breadbasket of the area. And then central Ontario is just like, there's southwestern, central, and then eastern. And eastern, it's like this Quebec comes down. There's a river, the Ottawa River, and it separates Quebec and Ontario. and it runs through Ottawa, right? So, what was I getting at? And so just south of that, that's Eastern Ontario, just because there's a little point there. I mean, you'd think that of this huge state or province, you know, that the north and south would be divided in the middle, and the east and the west, you know, like, but no, the whole thing is Northern Ontario. From about the level of Lake Superior is north. Everything above that is north. Maybe even less than that. Timmins and North Bay, and have you heard of those places? Think is Lake Huron and half of Lake Erie in both Canada and the US. Yeah, Lake Erie is definitely on the border. I'll have to look at a map, which I can do if I'm not making a video. But you know what? I've been on here for an hour, and that's going to use up a lot of gigs, isn't it? And I've only got 21 gigs. You'd think that would be enough. For any normal person, that would be plenty. But I'm out here in the wilderness, and we've got great cell service, but we have terrible internet. There is no internet here. There's no Wi-Fi. I guess if we were to have it installed, I wonder if we could get Wi-Fi here. Wouldn't that be cool if we had Wi-Fi installed and we could have, but we'd only be here for a few months of the year. And then we're not supposed to just hang out being on the internet. We're supposed to be working. Or at least, you know, serving, taking care of the camp and the campers. Anyway, but it would save on data. But that's okay because I have Willem's phone. He's also got about, I don't know how many gigs he's got. Maybe he's got another 20. Maybe he's got 10. I don't know. But see, I can use his phone when I use up my phone. But it appears that I'm going to be babysitting at the end of July for part of a couple of weeks. So I'll have Wi-Fi then. So I really don't have to have data to last the whole month. But I just got new data on the 2nd. So and it's a 3rd, so I've only already used up how much, you know. So I guess that said, I need to say goodbye. So it's been very nice hanging out with you, and thank you for introducing yourselves. I really love getting to know you and where you're from. And happy Canada Day to you too. That was on the 1st. And it was lovely to go out there and watch all the fireworks all around the lake. Because this person would set off a whole bunch, and then that one would go, and then that one would go, and you don't usually get to see that. Yeah, it's been a long time since we all hung out, hasn't it? Yeah. That's because I usually go to bed. Anyway, so, yes, Nan, nice to see you again. So I'll try and make a video when I'm by the pond and see the beaver pond and see the activity again. Good night, Bear. Good night, Bear. Are you wagging your tail? All right, well, it's so nice of all of you to pop in. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming along. And thumbing up. Look at that. 5 thumbs up. Okay, so I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. And remember, if you've messed up ever in your life, the consolation prize for messing up is wisdom. So consider yourself wise. Bye.